to do an updo in the salon. Say, are we talking half an hour? 45 minutes? An hour? Maybe? In the bulk? Right, who's got time? Who's got time? Picture this, right? Saturday morning, 8 a.m. You've got a hangover from hell from last night. I know what you hairdressers are like. It's Friday night. You know, Friday night's always Friday night. You ain't staying in just because you've got, 8 a.m. Bridezilla coming in. Bridezilla with her 3 ugly sisters and her mother, right? And they're expecting updos, right? Now, let's face it, Saturday morning is your busiest time, right? This is your big money-making time. You don't want to have it all booked up with updos, doing, Bridezilla. You want Bridezilla in and out so that you can get on with the real business of making some serious cash on a Saturday morning, right? Exactly. So, we need to get her out quickly. So, updo. Here we go. A needle and thread. Very simple. It's a tapestry. There we go. Oh, let's do it on here we go. There it is. Tapestry needle or a darning needle. Look at this. It is not sharp, right? I'm not going to lacerate my client in the chair unless she deserves it. And we've all got those clients too, haven't we? Right? So I purposely keep 2 needles, one for the client. There we go. And what I'm doing is I'm just doing a double knot, very simply, on the end of my needle. Very simple. That was just a double knot to the end of the needle. And the thread is linen thread or upholstery thread, tapestry thread. It's not cotton because cotton's not strong enough. It's a natural textured thread. Fishing-wise, too slippery. So maybe something you can find is like extension thread, perhaps. But it's strong and it's textured. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little updo. Now again, girls, in the morning, okay? So you get up and you look in the mirror and you're playing with your hair. And you look in the mirror and you go, oh, that'll look good. I just put a couple of pins in that and that'll look great, right? And it never ends up looking, you've got a pin sticking in your head here and a bit that hurts and it's too tight and it never looks the way you want it to look. If you want to get that soft, sexy, softly tasseled updo, this is how we're going to do it. Hygienically in the mouth. And you can time me. So, okay, Mr. Cameraman, here we go. Softly, I'm just holding that hair softly at the nape, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass the needle 3 or 4 times across the nape. Just the same stitch over and over, 3 or 4 times. Depending on the thickness of the hair, I'm going to go 4 times here because this hair is fairly thick. Just over and over and over, same stitch, and then I pull, and that's locked into the hair. So I didn't have to knot it, it's now locked into that hair. And all I'm going to do now is simply sew her hair into place. So, no pins. No pin, like you get all these pins in your hair, girls. No one likes all those pins. And you get a client with kind of slightly finer hair, and you can see the pins. And you get the clients that have got the thick hair, and you haven't got enough pins, right? So you know that getting just pins and pins and pins in the hair, it hurts, and it's not comfortable. And I think that this is a far more fun, friendlier way of getting a great updo. So as you'll notice, I'm just sewing up the back of her head, pulling in all those bits as I'm sewing up really easily, coming to the top here, and as I come to the top, I'm simply going to do a blanket stitch or a basket stitch where I pass the needle back through the loop, and that's secured. All right. Oh, loosened up a little bit. Here we go. Let's just bring her back. and a blanket stitch just to secure it at the top, just like that. Now, wait till you see this. So, my thread is up here at the top. What I'm going to do is pass the needle down to behind her ear. There we go. And I want this hair to sit nice and softly back. I don't want it pulled back really tight. I don't want 80s sides, right? I want nice, soft, sexy 2010 sides, which means that all I'm going to do is just loop that hair around the thread and done. Same on the other side. I'm just going to come around the other side, pass the needle down around to behind her ear with the thread, loop the hair around nice and softly, just like that, and back up to the top. Okay? To finish off, all I'm going to do is just 3 basket stitches at the top again. So, for all of those who are being truant during home ec classes, and you know who you were, a basket stitch is where you pass, there's my loop. We kind of can't see it, but I've got a loop there, and it's a basket stitch is where you pass the needle back through the loop. And I do 3 of those over and over. Pair of scissors, and I snip the needle out. Time check. All I'm going to do is just, I want it to soften it up. I just want it to look, I want it to look nice and soft. So I could, if she was a bride, I would sew just a couple of fresh flowers around the back here. Maybe I'd sew her veil on the top. I'd just sew it in where I just wanted it to sit. I like to have little loose bits dangling around, so if you want to have them sewn up, you sew them up. But I like them to sit out. I like them nice and loose. I like nice little soft pieces falling around the face. I want it soft, I want it romantic, and I want it feminine. What do you think? Who watched the Academy Awards the other day? Right, what kind of hair were you seeing on the catwalk? On the red carpet, sorry. What were you seeing? Soft, sexy, loose hairstyles that were just, looked like she'd almost done it herself, but you know that she didn't, right? This is how I get that texture. How does that thread feel? Yeah, it feels secure. The thing about the sewing is you can secure even the most thickest, coarsest hair. It's secured, it doesn't move. She could go out disco dancing all night and it's not going to move. She could even sleep on it. It's one thread, all she's got to do is pick up the thread, snip it, and the whole lot will come out. Thank you very much for being a model. Wow, she looks hot. She looks hot. Do you like